Hello viewers, our team has carefully selected these messages for your edification and transformation. Watch and stay blessed.
I walk from here, all right? Then, early in the morning, you know my friend from Lagos, Prophet Ayo, now calls me. Yeah, I saw you on the white horse, and as you were riding on that horse, you were proclaiming the kingdom. Guess what he now says in interpreting what the vision meant? He said, teach the Bible now. Hey, teach the Bible? Okay. That was how we started that teaching that I preach for 80 days. Those of you that were there. It was on the instruction of teach the Bible. Two things happened when I taught the Bible during those 80 days. Are you still with me? First thing that happened is since the history of this ministry, there has never been a time, that is the history of this ministry up until that time. There has never been a time where people gave to this ministry like the 80 days. That 80 days of preaching was our breakthrough in terms of people sowing into the ministry. The flow was so consistent and so the momentum, I don't know, what's the name? Give me a scientific word for this. Huh? You people want to confuse our audience now. You know what I'm talking about. The way the finances was flowing in on a daily basis, it was on the strength of that flow that we took off by faith and started laying this foundation. You know where we were now. The capacity of the building was 250 people. And then we now started building a hall that would take 4,500 people. Are we not crazy? We are crazy now. But it began to flow. This foundation you are standing on cost 55 million that time. Not now, that time. Because if you are saying that Indomie that used to be 250 is 500, if this foundation costs 55 million, what is the cost now? You got it right. That's the value. And I continued teaching, and the people were giving. I don't know what was going on. People were giving. And that was how the walls went up. Oh. And are you with me? Let me tell you my own little one. As they were giving to us as a ministry, they were also giving me in my account. 5,000 we enter, 20,000, 10,000. In fact, they give in one day. That is my own small one now. In 24 hours, they gave me my salary. So I said, oh, what was it? You are not following me. You are not following me. So God was trying to prove to me that the strategy he gave me, even though it doesn't sound intellectual, it will work. But there will be no cloud, there will be no wind, but the ditches shall be filled with water. It didn't sound intellectual. I got my salary in 24 hours. So I now understood that I could survive based on that strategy. It is because of that when you come for fellowship, I will never lack what to tell you. I will prepare in the night. I will wake up and go and pray to know the mind of God. Because as I am doing it, the other aspect too. So that is why the meltdown is not affecting me. Because I got my own guidance from God. And the thing about the guidance that we get from God, it doesn't expire when it's 2025. Now, I'm provoking you. See, I want you to, oh my God, I want to come one day. And there are so many testimonies that will now abolish testimonies. I say, because if we start taking testimonies every day, we will not have time. Go back and receive guidance for your life. For me, he said what? Teach the Bible. So I became faithful in teaching the Bible. And then, in that 2002, it's on 2020. Is that not when we went to London? I think it's B that can tell me this. That's when I went to London. So when I went to London first was 2020 March. So this, I've been applying for the UK visa. You know my story. In fact, the one that they gave me, when they gave me, the passport was closed. I didn't believe that there was any visa inside. The reason why I didn't believe was because the application I did with all government backup letters and my pay slip and all the things they need, they denied it. So this one, I even made mistake in the application. But they gave me that one. And a senior man of God that has preached here before registered his intention to invite me. So the moment I saw the visa in my passport, I snapped it. And I put it on his WhatsApp. You know how we use WhatsApp to shout? You put some people that are doing like this. It means we are shouting. So you put... That was how I got invited to London. And the church was so gracious, they put me on business class. That was the business class on British Airways. Oh my God. It was an experience. And then we got there and all of that. And I went to look for what to say in the place of prayer. It took me 12 hours. But I got a message from God. And what's the instruction? Teach the Bible. Do you know that message was what opened Europe to me? By the time I came back from London, because I preached on Friday, I think I preached on Thursday, preached on Friday evening, preached on Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Sunday morning. All right? My flight was Sunday evening. Flight from London to Abuja was Sunday evening. It's a 10 p.m. flight. You just push your seat like this and you sleep. Then I was in Abuja. When we came out, I was convinced that I knew what God meant when he said, teach the Bible as a strategy for my sustenance and the inhabitants of my house. Ever since then, I've continued obeying that instruction. And I've seen miracles of how God can use nothing to sustain a man. So I'm challenging you now, go back and turn your face to the wall. And don't live there until God gives you guidance. Sometimes he allows situations, he allows circumstances so that you will know who among us is wise. Because the wise among us will go back to God and get guidance from him. Are you there? I want to end with a few scriptures, most popular scriptures. I'll be giving you 1 point per day so that you will practice it. You will remember and you will practice. Psalms 23, that most popular scripture that you are aware of. Please put it on the dashboard. The Lord is my shepherd. What is the result? I shall not want. If you allow God to lead you, he will take you out of want. So the brethren that are listening to me online, you are listening from London, you are listening from Vienna, you are listening from someplace in Europe, someplace in the United States, and maybe there is no economic meltdown in your city, in your nation, but you are struggling with poverty. So Ben Hadad is on your case as an individual, not on the territory. You will need guidance from God. Guidance from what? God. I went somewhere in Zimbabwe, finished preaching in the meeting that I was invited to preach, and a pastor invited me to his church. So I said, all right, no problem, I'll come. So we now went. And they gave me the platform. And I began to teach. And the grace of God was so strong on my life. The utterance, the insight, the revelation. In fact, I was seeing revelations in the scripture when I came to preach that I did not see when I was studying. The thing was open. I finished teaching, and one man in the congregation said, please come. When are you leaving? I said, I'm leaving tomorrow. They said, no, you can't leave tomorrow. We are going to pay the airline to extend your days. You have to remain here and do what? And teach. We are going to take a moment of time. You are going to ask God for your own strategy. In the eyes of God, as long as I can teach, I will not beg for bread. You also have a strategy for your own life. And as long as you do it, you will not beg for bread. Stay with him until you get it. The Lord is my shepherd. What will happen? I shall not want. When God begins to guide you, then poverty, it leaves you. I've studied prosperity very well in the scriptures, and I can tell you the key to blessing is hearkening unto the voice of God and obeying. That's the key to blessing. When God says, do this, do it, you will prosper. The key to cursing is disobeying the voice of God.